Welcome everybody to Mud Flood was Armageddon special edition weather and the war. You know, full disclosure, I'm the guy that thinks the world is, changing right now before our eyes and Jesus Christ is God. So, I can say whatever I want. It's my opinion and not making any money off of it. But I think this is the first step to martial law. Now, I don't we've talked about martial law. Everybody has, but we've always considered they're doing it for, in response to a terrorist act, or they're doing it. There's been some sabotage, and now a foreign government is suspected. So, for our own good, Patriot Act type of a thing. I think that's what's coming because of this storm. And I did that provocative thumbnail because I wanted to put Trump right out there in center because we have such short memories. And the whole Q, the anonymous movement, their theories that talked about everything except flat earth, and really they could have done better on the John Birch Society and the Rosicrucians. But Trump was in on it. He had to be. The Operation, what was that? Warp Speed. And now the storm. Anything else you want to add before Christmas or something? There's a storm coming. Oh, what storm? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Well, I think, and I'm saying that Satan knew, but, they know they're losing, but they're going to win. They're going to be able to rouse a Gog Magog army to come against you. And right now, there's a tornado on the ground. And all I'm trying to say is, I want to welcome you to Mud Flood was Armageddon, but I want to do it in a restrained way. The end of the, it's not the end of the world. So what if they enforce martial law? It's going to be like what it's going to be like. You're not going to be a part of it. You're going to go away. You're going to make it work some other way. Well, right now, welcome, Kevin Yost. You're going to fit right in. One of my dad's best friend and one of my, I don't want to say a mentor because I really only knew him for a few years, was named Leroy Yost. He was an IBEW electrician like my father, and they were working out of Union 176 in Joliet. If you're any relation to Leroy Yost, he would, if he's still alive now, he'd be like 90, 85, 90. Great man. QAnon is part of it. As I said earlier, don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you. There is a tornado on the ground. It's headed towards Oklahoma City. Back when I had a big channel, back when I was one of those guys in 2016 that, you could get 38,000 views in one day because you said, I believe in flat earth. Those days are way over. And that channel, Flat Earth Nation Golden Age Past, is gone. But it was the first one that was talking about the Golden Age Past. And it's all happening right before our eyes. And on that channel, Flat Earth Nation Golden Age Past, the first video was about something's weird about Oklahoma City. I had a bunch of pictures. I think this used to be a Native American capital or something. It looks like every building's built on megaliths. It was weird. It was weird. So let's check in on the tornado on the ground. Don't be shocked. Don't be panicked. The weathermen keep saying, well, it's just kind of small compared to, well, here, just get up to speed on this, and then we'll check in on the missing Iranian president. He's been missing now for 14 hours, and oh no, it's all going down, doobie-doo, down, down. That's why you come here.
barely moved. It is almost a drunk NATO in this case, too. It's barely moving.
Drunk NATO.
Just southwest of Yukon. It is almost standing still right now in the latest few scans.
Max gave
signature.
me permission to use his videos, and he gave permission to everybody. He said, just get this info out there, because he just graduated from college 2 weeks ago. But look at this. He's already got like over 250,000 subscribers. And that's like 250,000. That's more than 14 Snicker bars.
Sure. It is still lifting up significant debris right now.
It's backed up. Let's go live.
Apparently, would indicate a large and or strong tornadoes on the ground.
Okay, there's still tornadoes on the ground. When they back up, you'll see that this is close to that metropolis of Oklahoma City. It's got to be in the top 20
if it is on the ground or has been on the ground, it is definitely strong. No doubt about that. The velocities are there.
Sports town has a
basketball going to be a strong tornado
team.
If it is on the ground, which again, we don't really know if it is officially on the ground, but if it is, it's 100% going to be strong. Or 99.9% going to be strong. Sorry. Maybe not 100. Put a little bit of uncertainty there.
That's 99% is just like almost,
I'm shocked we don't have a CC drop or anything.
Did it scoot under Oklahoma City in just that little bit of time? I even started the show 8 minutes early. Back out from your screen a little, Max.
Still radar indicator for the time being.
Because there's like tornadoes going on in 2 states, and he's flipping back and forth. But the one in Oklahoma was on the ground. I kid you not. We'll be able to show you some footage of it. Won't be able to show you any footage of the Iranian president. His helicopter's gone missing, like Kobe Bryant's. It went down in the mountains in the
still
fall.
not a resignature. I
missed it.
I haven't seen this strong rotation, this close to the radar site in a while. It does not have a debris signature. So, either this is just picking up like nothing, or like maybe some, I don't know, grass. I don't know. Like just
tornado that's only tearing up grass. That sounds like a
or it's just
fire
on the ground,
that would only burn
I
half
really doubt we didn't have a tornado here. This has been strong this entire time.
From the inside.
Can't get much stronger than this. Really can't. Either that or we got a funnel cloud. I do want to check out Kansas again.
Oh, you're going to go back to Kansas now. So we'll have to wait and hear. Oklahoma, you're in the bullseye. I think this is a judgment.
The rotation on the storms near Kansas City still relatively.
I'm on record that this is going to bankrupt the United States. That's why.
If this is still on the ground, or if it is on the ground, it's going to go towards Brevard, Oklahoma, eventually going towards Tacoma.
Linda Delgado, the one that looks like a movie star, she's wearing a uniform.
Brevard is very, very small town.
All the time. Like, look at me, I'm a judge, and I'm in black uniform like a SWAT.
Let's hope. Hopefully it's not really much. Looks like that's occluded in the latest scan. But regardless, man, that was a really strong tightening there for a moment there.
Let's go back a few minutes and see what was going on.
What's happening at Kansas City? It's mostly just wind. You get an isolated tornado, though, out of this still.
That's 17 minutes ago.
3 different ones right there. Maybe even.
So he's been on Kansas City for a while. This is the tornado that was on the ground in Winoka. You don't leave me hanging, Max. Fill me in. Is tornado or not?
It's unbelievable that we're dealing with this again. No CC drop, but again, I do think there's a tornado on the ground. If this is on the ground, it's strong, and it might even be large. Northwest of Winoka, here in northwest Oklahoma. And no CC drop, but we really don't need a CC drop even for this. I do think it's on the ground. That's a very definitive forecast. We got info and everything. This is definitely a storm that
I've only heard him actually
shelter this morning. away from windows and on the
one
lowest
time,
score possible.
a
It's
couple days
dangerous
ago.
storm right now that's in progress here. Moving to the east.
I don't think it's a closed convection. Circular.
Still no debris signature, but I mean that's definitely on the ground. You know, the other thing is it might just be going through really rural areas here. There's a few roads, but that's some very strong rotation. Tight as can be. It can't get much stronger than this.
Look at that, made a weatherman lean forward. I'm going to lean forward too because it's like, oh no. So it's a color wheel.
Isn't that farmland?
You
It
can
might
see
be. Even with farmland, we usually do get some sort of.
it's the towards in a way, because in a way, think of it as a mini hurricane. You know, it'll get you on one side and then it gets you going back the other way if it doesn't just suck your roof off.
They're all bugging out.
I'm with you.
Yeah, if you're in this pink polygon,
I think you'll be one of those people that like gets thrown in your bathtub 100 yards and somehow you make it.
Likely
you could be that
strong tornado on the ground west of Avard.
Don't be, you know,
this
put
could
on
be a
your
very strong
bicycle
tornado
helmet.
too. This might not be like your garden variety weak and brief tornadoes. I mean, the velocities are so strong to the point where if this does officially get confirmed, it's more than likely going to be PDS.
This is what I heard when I decided I'd go on 10 minutes early, because how long, the
rotation just does not get stronger than that when it comes to velocities. It's been like this for multiple scans. It began 10 minutes ago, and it's shown very little. It's not shown any signs of weakening. Here's the latest scan.
Well, then why did you switch to Kansas when I was like going like to everybody like you got these crazy tornadoes?
A little bit close.
You're back in Oklahoma.
Waynoka.
What's up with that?
Charlotte, this is Radar Omega. The link's at the top of the description.
Be right on time if you showed me how close it was to Oklahoma City right now. Because I could show.
This is once again intensifying rotation.
I guess that town Barnstall got hit for the third weekend in a row with a tornado. Those are people.
That right there is more. That has to be a tornado. There's no way.
Because of the yellow part.
We almost definitely have a tornado on the ground now here. This one just completely recycled.
Okay, we're live.
That right there is almost 100% a tornado. That's completely rain wrapped, by the way.
This tornado is not
that right there is 100%. It has to be a tornado. There's just no way.
This whole continuing storm system is just.
That thing blew up so fast. That recycled so fast too.
They've been saying that all day.
We have to have a tornado here. There's just no way. If you're in Waynoka, Avard, or Hopeton, Oklahoma, you need to seek shelter. Again, just no debris signature.
He knows
that is 100% has to be a tornado. I think
those people.
We had it with the last one too. It's like the same area.
And then they're going to be broke and with no electricity, and they're going to be sitting around going, "Oh, at least I got Wi-Fi."
We had one tornado. Look at this. This is crazy.
Have Wi-Fi.
We had more than likely one tornado that just did this. And then we have another one developing over the same exact area.
Storm chasers that
there could be two. If the first one was a tornado, we have a second tornado developing now in the same exact area. That is just unbelievable.
This is a judgment. Because
if we don't get a debris signature on the next scan,
I was trying to tell everybody.
Unless it colludes completely, but this has to be a tornado. I don't think there's any other way.
Well, we'll know in a minute.
All right, another radar scan should be coming in here in a second. Again, this is for Woods in Woodward County in northwest Oklahoma. Sorry, if I keep moving, my leg is like trying to stretch it. Yeah, Kansas City, by the way, you're probably fine. It's mostly just wind at this point and lightning. It's unbelievable. We don't have a debris signature. I mean, I'm utterly shocked just meteorologically, unless this is, unless this is just, it can't be contamination because we don't have any contamination here. I'm just guessing if there's another tornado here, it's like in the middle of nowhere or something. Like that's my guess, because we don't have a CC drop again. Oops, wrong one. And it does not get much more clear than that, though. That has to be a tornado. Even if we don't have a debris signature, more than likely we still have a tornado here. It's completely rain wrapped as well. But this has to be on the ground. I just can't imagine it not being on the ground here. You know, we had that drunk NATO in southwest Oklahoma a few weeks ago. That one was in the middle of nowhere, like in farms, and it did show a debris signature, which is interesting. That one was like in the middle of nowhere. That was that big tornado, if you guys were watching a few weeks ago. I can't remember where it was anymore, but that one was huge. It was east of Frederick. I feel like we're in a reminiscent area where this is like the same sort of thing, but nothing's being picked up by the CC. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I know. It got destroyed too.
It's in the middle of nowhere, a flat field. Usually, even a flat field would pick up at least something. I don't know. It doesn't get much more clear than this when it comes to the velocities. See what the CC shows on this latest scan. I'm bamboozled. I mean, even if we got like a small tinge of green, I'd be convinced. But we have literally red, which again, you know, the correlation coefficient, straight up red, usually just means rain. And it's crazy to say this, but like I've never seen this before where I have that strong of rotation. That, you know, does not have a CC signature. I mean, I honestly think
this is Reed Timmer. He's probably the most famous person. I can't really, I don't have permission to show his stuff, and this is how he makes his living.
Yeah, it's more
whereas
than
Max is a student, graduate student, just got his PhD in meteorology.
Yeah, you don't need a debris signature for
he
a tornado,
is
with how
in
close it is
a
to the radar site,
tornado.
it surprises me a bit more.
And there they just
It has
lived
not officially
through
been confirmed, by the way, by the National Weather Service, even though I do still strongly think we've had two different tornadoes here.
I think I can play a second of it.
That's what I'm thinking, at least right now. Tacoma would be next in track for this.
We are in a ditch! Bro, we're getting in this! We're going in!
I mean,
Guys, this is not good right here! So I go deeper into the ditch!
Man, if there is a tornado, which it is likely, we have a
Oh, it is not!
tornado more than likely this.
It is not going to miss us! Coming right at us!
All right, so that's just your heads up in case you want to head over there to see Reed Timmer. You saw how happy they were when they lived through it, but they're not always going to be that lucky, right?
I mean, they would have probably made this PDS if we did have a debris signature. We just haven't had one.
Those Direcios, straight line winds, those are relatively new. First one I think that RJ and I talked about was like in 2019. It ripped through northern Wisconsin, and Randy went, "Huh?"
Fake
And
NATO.
we checked on the news, and sure enough, it was like it only missed him by like 400 miles. Wisconsin is an extremely
I'm being serious. I mean, like
state.
this is probably on the ground. I just don't think there's anything here to lift up, or unless they're just some farms. I
So
mean,
maybe that
we go towards Avard, which again, the population in this particular warning is like 700, I think.
We'll come back to this then. We'll go and see. There's probably nothing new on the president of Iran.
Iran's holy city of
Did they
Mashhad
find him?
rose early to his office.
Oh,
Aged
no.
20, he was named Prosecutor General of Karaj next to Tehran.
Notice
He
the
served as
people
Tehran's
in the
Prosecutor
chat,
General
the
from
sock puppets are
1989
out there to work
1994,
up both
Deputy Chief of the
sides.
Judicial Authority from a decade,
If people from the United States are making fun of them, and
2014.
it's just going
His black
back
turban
and forth.
signified direct descent from the Prophet Muhammad, and he holds the religious title, which means proof of Islam, one rank below that of Ayatollah in the Shiite cleric hierarchy.
Massive search operations is underway to locate the site of crash of the helicopter carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and his foreign minister. On Sunday, The chopper crashed.
This
as
is
it was
news
crossing
that's
mountain
being
terrain
shared
in
by a
Fall.
prophet. So
On the way back
you
from
got to
a
cut
visit
me
to
some slack.
Azerbaijan,
I'm not trying to
Iranian
make
state
money off it.
media
It's one of
has said
those,
that
you
bad
know.
weather caused the crash and was complicating the rescue efforts. Raisi was flying in a US-made Bell 212 helicopter. The chief of staff of
Of
Iran's
course,
army
it's
ordered
made in
all
America.
resources
He
of the
wanted
army
the best,
and the elite
doggone it.
revolutionary guards to be put to use in search and rescue operations.
I'm not saying that they probably had a
Iranian
back
state
door
TV
in
quoted
it,
an
but
official
it
as
would in
saying
the
that at least
movies.
one passenger and one crew member had been in contact with the
If
rescuers.
anybody has
It was
any
also said
questions,
that the
you know,
helicopter had been
let me
found, though
know.
Iran's Red Society has denied
Yeah,
this latest report.
this
Azerbaijan's
exactly.
Red Crescent Society released video of
It's
search
all
and
just
rescue
stirring the
workers
pot
looking for the crashed helicopter.
just so that they
The
can
video
set up
showed
martial
people
law in the
carrying
United States,
flashlights as they
because
walked in windy conditions on
whether
hills.
or not this is atmospheric
Iran's neighboring
aerosols,
countries are
because some people
expressing
don't go,
concern
you know,
and they're
don't say
offering help in
chemtrails.
the rescue
Oh,
efforts.
darn it.
Turkey said it had assigned a drone, a
It's still
helicopter
God's
with
judgment.
night vision
I don't
capability
care.
that has also been
If they're
assigned to
doing
help
it
with
to each
helicopter
other in
search
mafia
operation
world
in
to
Iran.
say
The Turkish Disaster and Emergency Management Authority said that a
we
team
can
of
absorb
20
more
key
than they
mountaineers
can,
and 6 vehicles
because
had been sent to
if
Iran to
their
help
youth
with
is like
rescue
our
operations.
youth, they're not ready to fight.
Flight radar live tracking map showed that the drone
And
is
maybe
circling around the
everybody in
area where the
China is like a
helicopter is thought
ninja,
to
but I
have crashed
doubt
on
it.
Sunday. A Kinsey UAV has
You have to
identified
watch out for
certain heat
Japan
suspected to be the
playing
wreckage of the
rope-a-dope in the
helicopter
background. You
and
know
has
they
shared
almost
its
won the World
coordinates
War
with the
II.
Iranian officials.
Do you have to go
Meanwhile, the
number one or
European Union
number
offers
two? I'll pull the
emergency
car over.
satellite mapping
I have to go
technology.
number two.
Russia is
Okay, we'll
sending
go
a
to a
team of
gas
rescuers
station.
to Iran to help the search efforts.
World
The
War
team
II
consists
is
of
like poo to
47
me.
specialists with required gear and equipment, all-terrain vehicles, as well as a
Wake up.
BO-105 helicopter. Iranian
Wrong.
Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who holds ultimate power in the country, reassured Iranians, saying,
What do we have next door to that? Okay, we looked at the man who built it. Now, his name was James Oglethorpe. British soldier, member of parliament, helped social reform, hoped to resettle Britain's worthy poor in the New World Order. Well, Brazil and the United States, everywhere from Rio to New Amsterdam. Amsterdam. Born in a prominent family, he was going to get the worthy poor sorted out, shipped over to the United States, and of those people that, well, it does seem unfair. You're in prison. How would you like a new home in a foreign country, and we'll pay all your debts? Okay, what's the catch? So that's how they got people here. This guy, member of that committee, the Mashallah notorious prison. Wow, he was in charge of it. Probably knew a lot of people that were in there for setup charges. Who knows what was going on back then? These towers, these skyscrapers, just a little bit of background.
Panic rooms. They're only used when they're needed. But these times are not only defined by violence. This image shows two families making peace. Families also want political stability. And priests tell them that if they want to go to heaven, they have to stop fighting.
Are they throwing hand signs? What are they talking about?
Help of today's sponsor, Manta Sleep. Big cups, so there's no pressure at all. Many were built 800 years ago. You might know Italy as this unified country. Italy at the time was different. It was a mess of small states.
They had to form the nations when
they think
Satan got
cities
out
should
of
not be
the
ruled by
pit.
popes or emperors, but ruled by its citizens. In the town halls and public squares. And some people built towers. In Bologna, I found towers in different shapes and sizes. Some are big, others are crooked. This one is actually a bed and breakfast.
you can sleep.
Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast. That's cool. So it's all based on this kind of stuff.
Place. It looks more like modern New York. It is impressive. It is futuristic. It seems almost unbelievable. There are 179 towers in this image.
That's why, because as a religious person and a religious show, I can tell you that the whole world, this is not a Christian show. This guy's got 250,000, boom, on the head. No hyperbole here. It's unnecessary. It would be redundant. I'd be reiterating. That's not what I'm about. That'll be the day. Wait, I just did it. The whole world's talking about this.
And it's supposed to be of a real place, the Italian city of Bologna. But nowadays, you'll find just a handful of towers there.
Yeah. Like, that'd be weird enough, right? It's not like that's not weird enough. So just to say, some of them got blown down in a war, taken down, used for other buildings, shortened. We know they do that. And there's only 20 left or something. That's still 20 more than should be there. Like,
and showing that you're good at fighting.
That's why you build towers in
Noble
their
families
world.
would often be fighting each other. When they move to Bologna, their traditions are taken over by local elites. The city is no place to build castles.
No.
These noble family feuds.
There's really no room for the castles in the city because it's a city.
So where's it actually from? If you do a reverse image search, you land up on Wikipedia.
I do
where
that
it
all
says
the
it's
time.
made by this artist Tony Pecoraro. I found his book with beautiful artwork of these magical cityscapes. And
man, everybody's got an agenda. This is a tower town. I wanted to look at it earlier. I didn't have time because something else was going down. That one looks like it's ready to fall apart. Any more over here? Oh. So that's definitely the biggest one. Look at those people. I don't see any bells. Maybe. Okay. So it's another city with towers in that area. You know, it's around Rome. But a lot of people there. I, for some reason, was looking at the towers. Look at this one. Is that cables on it or an old awning? Somebody dug something in there somewhere where they mounted, this was connected to this. And something else was going on here. We don't get the whole story on this one. San Giancana. Beautiful. Okay. But we want to see, you know, some other ones. This is it. So they'd only have towers there. They got, you know, we've seen these before. They let them walk right out there. Man, that's a place to tour. I don't think you're supposed to do it, but there's no guards there, so I wanted to get that girl. Look at that. She wanted to get a good shot. She got right out there. Yes, this was part of a star fort. Had to be. Freedom, liberty, Freemasons. I'm not trying to feed you a bunch of Bologna from 1640. They had this town figured out. Not Star 4D, but busy. Okay. So we did the Bible. I wanted to show you what was up with this general laws. This is that group of maidens that had that Oera Linda that the Nazis loved, and it could be Columbia, Liberty, Matilda, Freedom, not Freedom, Fate, Fortune. Fortune is mentioned in the Bible.
Share. Only someone who has done a worthwhile deed serving the common good may be given such, and his youngest son may inherit it. But after that, the village must take it back. 6. Every village shall possess common land as required, and the alderman
I will introduce you to this young guy. I'm not, 239 subscribers. I don't think he's probably not going to give me a copyright strike. But again, it wouldn't matter because, this is for news and entertainment from somebody that wants you to believe that God warned him that the storm is here. Escape your cage. He takes it so serious that COL laws. Let's just get through the 6th one and I'll go back and have him introduce you to Oera Linda.
Shall see to it that all fertilize and nurture their allotted share, so that those who come after might suffer no scarcity. Land was thus parceled out on a temporary basis. The homestead could be used for a lifetime, and in special cases passed down to the youngest son, after which the community retook possession, and the land and perhaps...
This is a Nazi dreamland where they're Lebensstrawn that they wanted, but you had to be like they were. And it sounds so nice, but why did it have to just be for one race?
Buildings returned to the commons. As will be seen later in the manuscript, the laws on land ownership evolved and became corrupted over time, but this pastoral form of sharing economy existed at least as an ideal, and similar to...
Dude, you're going against everything I'm saying about, just because you're the head, you don't have her, rake the hay. This is all wrong, man. You got everything so right, and then you're making your wife do the work. I'm sorry I even came to this channel. Just kidding.
Each in turn, and give readers a primary background in the subject to foster understanding of what can otherwise be a confusing array of myths, concepts, and histories throughout the manuscript. The initial section of Codex Oera Linda is the Book of Adela followers, which contains all of the laws copied from the Burg walls on the advice of Adela, a famed and respected matron of this ancient people, about whom you can learn more in other videos on this channel.
Liberty.
The laws I will present today are the general laws governing societal institutions such as marriage, as well as other aspects of community life and general commerce. They can be found in section 3b, and a link to the Oera Linda wiki page containing the English translations of the general laws, both the current translation by Jan Ott and the older version by William R. Sandbach, is available in the video description below. The Oera Linda wiki also contains copies of the original manuscript in the Fryas language and several Dutch translations, as well as dictionaries and further resources to aid in the study of Codex Oera Linda, all of which can be found at wiki.oeralinda.org. That's wiki.oeralinda.org. The general laws begin with a principal proclamation. 1. All Freya children are born in like wise. Therefore, they must also have the same rights, whether on land or on...
No, that's just a bunch of... See, those are your breeding choices. If you would ever fall in love with somebody that's not like this color, I'm afraid we'd have to kill you.
Water.
That's what they'd say, not me. Oh my goodness. Somebody's going to say I thought that. I don't. I hate that.
This first of the 12 statutes comprising the general laws establishes the principle of equal rights for all members of the tribes of Freies Land. And indeed, most of the general laws define rights rather than prohibitions. They can be viewed as a general code of societal conduct.
Whereas the thou shalt not is pretty well established by the father is the best way. Best way.
Conduct. The initial group of laws governs marriage and the obligations of the community towards newlyweds. 2. Every man may ask the wife of his choice, and every daughter may respond by offering her
That's why the
welcome
Nazis
to the
liked
one
it
she
so
loves.
much. And you know, a lot of people
3.
I would like a
When
lot
a
of
man
parts
has
of
taken
this.
a wife,
If it could
they are
be
given a house and yard.
You hear that?
If there is none, it must be built.
Anybody that gets married gets a
4.
house built for him.
If he has gone to another village for a wife and he wishes to remain there, they must provide a house and yard, as well as free use of the commons. We see here several elements of.
And we know they may have had a few barns or something like this, but everybody at all times throughout the ages lived in these same star forts that we live in today.
The foundational institutions of marriage and family. Namely,
they lived in a star
the
fort.
concept of land ownership was a basic right rather than an individual privilege. House and home were
Lady
viewed as
Mercury.
the basis for any couple starting a family. It is also clear that men were the initiators of courtship, and that men, at least, were not bound to a certain village in order to enjoy these rights, connoting a freedom of movement on par with modern Western societies, despite the collective ordering of the Freie society. We also see that marriages were not arranged, and that each woman had an inherent right to refuse or accept a suitor by offering a libation.
This is
and a
the
couple
basic
welcome.
background.
Such rites are still used to this
You
day.
know,
In marriage traditions in Scotland,
I'm
where
not.
the two
You're not going to be able
welcome
to
cup or
find
cash
any of
is
these
kept by
laws
the
that aren't
laws.
good. You
Land
know,
was not individually owned, but communally managed.
is
being
that? Would you
provided
want
to
that, or is that
individuals
Nazi
as the foundation of their
socialism?
community membership.
National
Though title to the
socialism.
land was never
Socialism.
transferred to an individual owner.
That's what the Nazis wanted. You like the
5.
Nazi socialism?
All
National
shall be provided
socialism?
with a share of land behind their house as a yard.
And
None may
they're going to enforce this. Nobody gets a front yard.
have a share before their house, much less a surrounding share. Only someone who has done a worthwhile deed serving the common good may be given such, and
front
his
yard.
youngest son may inherit it. But
Talking
after
about-
that, the village must take it back.
That's my front yard
6.
now.
Every village shall possess common land as required, common consent, and the knowledge of the forest alderman, as the woods are for common use. Therefore, no one may own them. 8. The village may not take market charges exceeding 1/12 of the revenue.
Wow, that's more than a tenth.
Is codified. A right on behalf of the community to collect
But anyway, the Nazis loved this.
difficulty. A literal word-for-word translation would be, also not, may the market revenue not, earlier sold not be than the other goods.
Sounds
Note
like lawyers.
the complex negation that is typical of Freias and can still be found in the Afrikaans language of the South African Boers. If any of you can offer insight or opinion.
So I didn't really get into, the part about the Nazis loved it, but they did. Let's see what else we had. So there's more Bologna. Another tower city. That's not San Giovanni or Bologna. This culture. This is that early Unfeld culture, not the early Etruscans, was it? No, because they still had this guy. Copper helmets. I'm getting a feeling I should go check on the tornado in Oklahoma. What we got going there? Well, those Villanovians, This monument participates in the contest. Wiki loves monuments. I remember that one, but I don't remember the Italian version of it. I know they showed a lot of good monuments at that time, and I was into it. That'd be like for climbing or fighting, or just ornamentation. I gotta close some of these out. How long ago did this get leveled? Well, how long does it take a tree to grow that close to it? Because these foundations aren't going to outlast this tree. So the answer is about as long as it took this tree to get that big. Unless somebody was just cutting down and not using it as a barn, and once they stopped using it as a barn, it was that long ago. Add maybe 2 or 3 years at the most. Looks like mistletoe or a poinsettia. Etruscan. Okay. This, you LiDAR this and it's going to be a star fort, baby. They all are. They're everywhere. So the Towers of Bologna. So it's got its own web page. I don't know if they're for it or against it. They could say it's an elaborate hoax, but they can't figure out why they did it. Another one of the Knights of the Order of St. Joseph. These are all connected to when Satan was loosed in 1711. There was a group of people that said, "You're Freemasons." They got a tap on the shoulder and they say, "We've been waiting for you. We've got to show you something." Something went down. It's all these orders and it's, who worries about those type of things? White people. And then they got some, like the Prince Hall, but it's mafias really now that are in control. They can probably, when you look this up, the Oera Linda, you're going to find out that the Nazis loved it. They couldn't get enough of it. And it all ties into the Iranian presidents missing because they were the first Aryans. Do I have to dot every T for you? Why would I even want to? That's like saying, how many types of animals did Noah take on the ark? 2. But sometimes you say it like, how many animals did Job take on there? And they'll go 2. And go, no, Noah. I said Noah. So I saved some pictures to look at. I got some cutouts of it. So that's that. I don't want to do the unsung hero thing again. I wanted to look at this guy quickly though, because he made over 400 films, produced or worked on it himself, did the Nickelodeons, and next thing you know, boom, he's a young, independent, free Jewish man in charge of Universal Film Manufacturing Company. And I've been to his company's theme park. I'm telling you, the last thing a person in my situation would want to do is be getting involved with actually defending whether or not he's truly Jewish or whether it has anything to do with the price of opium in China. It doesn't. He's just in charge. He was put in charge. Now, in my world, he's not Jewish. There's no more Jews. They all went away a long time ago with the records of Aaron, going all the way through the other Levites. That you had to have a record of it. And, they said, let our blood be on us and our children. So that was that generation. And then not too many of them made it. It was the people, they were the ones that said like, oh, we'll take Barabbas because, the scribes and Pharisees want to keep this Gravy train, den of thieves, rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling right.
I'm bamboozled. Hey, Storm
It looks
Surge,
like
oh
it
Lord.
calmed down.
Yeah, I'm completely joking. This is not a
Topeka.
hurricane. I hope everybody realizes that. Just gonna put it out there. There's 10,000 of you watching. I bet there's 20 of you that think I'm actually saying there's a hurricane here. There's not. It is acting like, well, no. I mean, we got damaging winds still to 60 in a lot of those storms, but mesoscale convective vortex. Thank you. Yeah, that's what this is. Okay.
This
yeah.
is not
actually.
Oklahoma.
I should have just said that. MCV was the one I was thinking. I just didn't want to say it incorrectly.
I can see some easy ones in there, like Hannibal, Burlington,
No,
but
satellite comma heads are the ones that are usually just
the one on the top right, Ottumwa. That's interesting.
Or comma clouds. That's what it's called.
What did we miss?
Put a jet stream overlay here.
We know we didn't miss anything from the king of Iran, president. So they must still be waiting on Oklahoma City to get
Velocity
hit.
claiming there's a Category 6 hurricane in Kansas? No. I can see it. I can see the headlines already.
There's an Olathe in Colorado. I live there.
Thank you again for anybody that's picking up Drunkenado merch. I can't see the names, but I do appreciate it for anybody that is. I mean, we sold like 10 different Drunkenado shirts in the last like 10 minutes. I do appreciate your generosity. If you do want to pick one up or consider or at least look at it, again, the link will be in the chat. It's also in the description. Or you can just look it up. It is Shop Max.
What was this one?
Will now be leading the Iranian delegation for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers that is scheduled to take off today.
They are announcing he was killed now. We do have an update. Update on the president.
Local time.
President is found dead.
Here in Astana will be leading that. The ambassador has been asked to come back to Tehran.
He will Razi no more. That's the joke that they made, not me. Now, how could they claim they had helicopters? It was a hard landing. So they could stall to see who was in power for 11 hours?
Hossein Amir Abdullah land at about 3 p.m. local time here in Astana, and then after that
you saw it here all day. What a Sunday! The storm, Aryan storm is rising. You know, you think I'm kidding? Iran is the first Aryans.
He will not be here because of this unfortunate incident where there is no sign of life and he has unfortunately passed away. So the Iranian side will now be represented by a local and in-house officer, the Charge d'Affaires, who is based here.
You're not going to find that in the fog.
Right, Anas, thank you.
I thought they would have had the beacons on those phones or something like that.
Iranian officials have told Reuters that the Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, along with 8 co-passengers, died when the helicopter crashed as it was crossing
2:30
in heavy fog. And just moments before, we received first pictures of the crash site, where the Iranian TV said that there are no signs of life. Well, this is news coming in from Iran, where Iranian officials have told Reuters that Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, along with 8 co-passengers, died when the helicopter crashed as it was crossing mountain terrain in heavy fog. For more on this, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik is joining us on the phone line. Anas is currently in Astana, Kazakhstan, where the Iranian foreign minister...
Oh, he's got a drone and they're recording it.
Foreign ministers meeting. Hi, Anas. We have the breaking news from Iran, where Iranian officials have told Reuters that the Iranian president and the foreign minister have died in that...
What a crazy time. And they say actually the real storms don't start until tomorrow. Where is that? I thought I opened one on Iran. We'll look at this and think we've proven our point. Now, so gunpowder empire, 3 early modern Muslim, Muslims all faked, so that they wouldn't even have been a thing, of course, till the 1500s. But, Muhammad, what is that, 600 20. I can't honestly say I know when he was supposedly born, but I'm probably pretty close. But, within 500 years. Where is their name of Iran? Where is it going to say? Where will it admit? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Proto-Iranian, meaning Aryan. That's Iran is Aryan. Yeah, Aryan is Indo-Iranian ethnoculture. The only true. If you're white, you descended from them. If you're pure white, you're albino. Well, all of us pure whites have one of the 5 stages of albinism. And oh gosh, I said that we were going to wrap it up, so I am going to go ahead, but I am going to remind you that all of the whiteys, the green eye guys, and whiteys like me, you maybe, we have one of 5 stages of albinism, and we got it from the Aryans. I'm not saying they're the tribe of Judah because I don't think they are. I'm just saying you're only going to get what you just got for the last 51 minutes and tie this together moving forward, where I want you to save your life by not putting your hand down, picking up a gun and saying, I'll teach them a lesson they'll never forget. It's you who will die, then your wife will be raped, and then your children will be eaten because you had to prove you're a man too late. You prove you're a man and move away from that city. If you're in a death trap right now, you can look back with regret. You can go through doubt, like, am I making the right choice? But you're going to have to make a choice real soon. And I hope it's not here. Should we keep these clothes dry or our mattress on the chance that we can get one more night of a dry bed? I'm not saying it's going to happen like that. It rolls downhill. There's no money in this country for the insurance of what's been going on since February 4th. And that's when the prophecy started that I said on February 2nd. And boom, it hit Hollywood. You'd think I'd be rich and famous for as accurate as I've been. Instead, there's you, me, and the dozen other people that'll watch this tonight. But yet some of those other people will put a twist on it and make some money on YouTube off of it. Those days are almost over on this flat earth nation with its golden age past, because doggone it, the mud flood was Armageddon. That's why I'm never going to tell you anything else, and neither are my friends. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.